It's Garth here again, and I was thinking about this there. We all can make a difference, and the reason I say that is because I'm doing this course this week, and it's about teaching me some skills to help me to move to the next level in my coaching practice and how I deliver and how I help people. And I was just thinking there was something that said that the instructor said, and it's that we all have an event inside of us. I thought this is interesting, and there's been so many times in my life that I kind of held back. I didn't go for it. Not recently, but in the past, and I was starting to think about that. And I remember years ago, over 20 years ago, at this point now, in New York City, at a New York Power Team meeting, sitting in the back of the room, saying to myself, man, those people in front of the room, they're bold. They're really doing something extraordinary and creative. And perhaps one day I would like to be up there. And but I don't know if I have what it takes. I don't know if you've ever said that to yourself. Do you have what it takes? But I said it. And I thought to myself, well, that's a bunch of crap. But I was in a place where I needed to have this certainty that everything was going to be okay and everything was going to work. And I realized that over the years that I had to give that up because one, you have to set the intention of what you truly want to create for yourself, and along the way there are going to be challenges. To expect that not to have any challenges or things to not work the way you would want them to work is kind of like unrealistic. Um, this video probably is probably close to 700 of these live videos that I've done over a 3 year period. It's probably more than 700 at this point, and I still am working on perfecting the delivery, my stand, looking into the camera. I've got more equipment than I had before, but it all started out with just taking the first step was to do this, the phone, and start to have a conversation. And the very first one I did, I didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't even save it. It got deleted, so I don't even have a record of my first experience. But the second one I did, and I learned. And the beginning of this year, I decided to change platforms, but I'm also doing 4 platforms of 2 Facebook groups, and so I'm doing multi-stream at the same time, which is really stepping out of my comfort zone. And I've had so many challenges as I've embarked on this journey, from doing a live video and my mic not working, or I didn't turn my mic on and I had to restart, to where I thought everything was being, people could hear me and no one could hear me, to videos were choppy, or I started too soon, or I wasn't in full frame. There's a slew of stuff, and I realized that that's how we learn. To think that everything's going to be perfect the first time out is so unrealistic. But yet so many people in life expect to get it right the first time, and they spend hours, days, months, years trying to get it right, as opposed to just starting and just going for it. And so that's what I decided to do these last few years, is just to start and go for it. Like when I started the Daily Gratitude Movement, I literally said to myself, I need to do this. I don't know what's going to happen or how it's going to work, but I believe that whatever resources I need are going to show up for me in that moment. And that has been the case for almost 4 years now. And now I went from a group that of zero, it was myself and Louisa, to there's several thousand in our clubhouse thing, and there's over 25,000 in our Facebook group. It's over 30,000 people because I made one decision. So getting out of your comfort zone is one of the things that you're going to have to do in order to be able to achieve the result that you want to achieve in life. It's just not going to happen by itself. You're going to have to get out there. You're going to have to practice. You can't be afraid. I can tell you, in my doing events for Tony Robbins as a trainer, there's times where we get disconnected from the studio. There's times where my computer rebooted in the middle of having a conversation at a team meeting. All these things happen, and you put things in place. That's why we have teams, to pick up if something should go wrong. And you improvise. I remember one time I was doing the last presentation I did for myself, head to heart. The PowerPoint, I wasn't PowerPoint, I was using Canva presentation. It froze, and nothing worked. And so one of the lessons I learned from that was, either have a backup plan where something else is running, or don't rely 100% but know the material well enough that you can continue on, or have a team member have it ready so that if something should happen, I can just switch over. They can switch over and share their screen, and we can continue moving on. So there's a number of options that I could have come up with. But these are things that if I didn't have the challenge, I wouldn't have figured out a new way of doing it. I was having a chat with one of my friends yesterday, and I said, I want to create a new logo for my coaching practice. I don't want the old one is old. It's almost 20 years old. I want something new and current. And they said, well, why don't you try this feature in Canva, and you just got to describe a couple of things. And I did that, and I made some mistakes in what I wrote. I was trying to say something else, but it perceived what I said, and I hit enter, and it came back with 4 choices. And two of the choices, the 2 middle choices, I was like, that ain't never gonna work. The last one, it looked too much like an icon, and the first one nailed it. And I was thinking to myself, like, how easy is this, right? So collaboration. So stepping out of your comfort zone, talking to people, asking questions is how you're going to make a difference and cause transformation in your life. And so I just thought I would just share that with you. And just to let you know that living life requires experiments. It requires trying things. And playing it safe isn't going to get you to anywhere that you want. I mean, you play safe, you can hedge your bets, and you can do all these things. That's different. I'm talking playing it safe where you don't take a chance on trying something that you always wanted to do because you're afraid that it may not work or you may not get it right. But if you actually approach it with the mindset of, this is what I want to do, and I don't know exactly all the details, but I know that the resources I need are going to show up and the people that I need are going to show up. I think that at that point, you have an opportunity to create something meaningful and have it evolve, have iterations of it to the point that it just keeps getting better and better. That's what we see a lot in software. So that's my tip for the day, and I hope you like it, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.